Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, good afternoon. We are from Group 9. We'll present to you guys our group presentation about employees' motivation. But first, let me introduce myself and my group member. The first one is me. My name is Mutia Putri Efra. The second one is Ananda Putri Nabila. The third one is Mutiara Izati. And the last one is Zulius. So, for this material, our group take the case study from a Google company. From the Google case study, it is evident that financial reward do not act as the main sources of the employee motivation. The non-financial motivators are the main factor driving employees into the committing themselves to a company. Organizations come up with a varied reward system to attract and retain competent employees. Some of the system include an incentive system, base pay system, and indirect compensation. One of the biggest mistakes that most institutions do is to undermine the role played by non-financial motivators in attracting and retaining qualified employees. Employees' psychological and emotional well-being are two entities that determine if they will remain in an organization or not. These entities are not met through financial reward. One of the factors that make most of the employees wish to work with Google is that the company offers an environment that promotes employee growth and development. Besides that, the company has a flexible rewarding system that allows employees to receive rewards based on their needs. Consequently, they feel that the company is conscious of their emotional and psychological needs. Well, for the next one is the theory of motivation. There are two types of theory of motivation. The first one is early theories of motivation, and the second one is contemporary. In the early theories of motivation, there are three. The first one is McGregor's theory, the second one is Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory, and the last one is Herzberg motivation hygiene. The first one is McGregor's theory. The first theory is theory X, assumes that workers have little ambition, dislike work, want to avoid responsibility, and need to be closely controlled. The second one is theory Y, assume that worker can exercise self-direction, accept and actually seek out responsibility, and consider work to be natural activity. The second one is Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. Low order needs, or larger satisfied external, such as psychological and safety, and the second one is higher order needs, or larger satisfied internal, such as social esteem and self-actualization. And the last one is Herzberg motivation hygiene. On a motivator, factors energize employees. Extrinsic characteristic consistently related to job dissatisfaction. Hygiene. Factors don't motivate employees. Proposed dual continuum for satisfaction and dissatisfaction theory enjoy wide popularity and influence job design. Theory was loudly criticized. Next is Maslow's hierarchy of need and Herzberg of two theory motivation. On Maslow's hierarchy of need, Maslow said that we have five of needs. The first one is psychological needs like food, shelter, sex, and also physical requirement. The second one is safety needs. A person needs for security protection from physical and emotional harm, and as well as assurance that physical needs will be continue to be met. The third one is social needs, like affection, belongingness, acceptance, and friendship. The fourth one is esteem needs, like status, recognition, and attention. And the last one is self-actualization needs, like a person needs for growth, achieving one potential and self-fulfillment that drive to become what one in capable of becoming. The second one is Herzberg two-factor theory, Friedrich Herzberg's, or it also called by motivation hygiene theory. Proposed that intrinsic factors are related to job satisfaction, while extrinsic are associated with job dissatisfaction. Hasberg wants to know when people felt exceptionally good or bad for their job, and also he concluded that the reply that people gave when they felt good about their job were significantly different from the replies they gave when they felt really bad. For contemporary theories of motivation, it exists of goal-setting theory. The second one is reinforcement theory. The third one is designing motivation job, and equity theories, and also expectancy theory. In goal-setting theory, the first one is intention to work toward a goal as a major source of job motivation. The second one is specific goal increase performance. The third one is participation in goal setting is very useful, and also the feedback also very useful. And the last one is contingencies in goal setting theory, like goal, commitment, self-efficiency, and also national culture. The next one is reinforcement theory. Behavior is solely a function of its consequences. Reinforcement consequences that, when given immediately following a behavior, affected that probability that the behavior will be repeated. Well, for this we have designing motivation jobs and also expectancy theory. The first one is job design. The way tasks are combined to form complete jobs. The second one is job enlargement, horizontal expansion of job. The third one is job enrichment, vertical expansion of job. And the fourth one is job characteristic model, or JMC, conceptual framework for analyzing job. On expectancy theory, a theory states that an individual tends to act in a certain way based on the expectation. The second one is theory emphasize reward, and the third one is no universal principle for explaining what motivates individual. The fourth one is most comprehensive and widely accepted explanation of employee motivation. In equity theory, this theory, developed by J. Stacy Adams, proposed that employees compare what they get from a job or outcomes in relation to what they put in it or input. And then they compare their input and their output ratio with the input outcomes ratio of relevant others. If an employee perceives her ratio to be equitable in comparison to those of relevant others, there's no problem. However, if the ratio is inequitable, she views herself as underworded or overworded. When inequities occur, employees attempt to do something about it. And the next is integrating contemporary theories of motivation. The individual effort box has an error leading into it. This error flows from the individual goals consistent with goal-setting theory. This goals effort link is meant to illustrate the goal's direct behavior. Expectancy theories predict that an employee will exert a high level of effort if he or she perceived a strong relationship between effort and performance and reward and satisfaction of personal goal. Well, for current issues in motivation, they consist of motivating particular groups of workers, cross-cultural challenges, designing appropriate rewards programs, and also motivating in tough economic circumstances. In cross-cultural challenges, motivational programs are most applicable in cultures where individualism and achievement are cultural characteristics. The second one is cross-cultural consistence. Interesting work is widely desired, as is growth, achievement, and responsibility. Motivating a unique group of workers. The first one is motivating diverse workforce. The second one is motivating professionalism. The third one is motivating contingent workers, and also the fourth one is motivating low-skilled minimum wage employee. Well, in designing appropriate reward program like open book management, employee recognition program, pay for performance, stock option programs, and next is motivating in tough economic circumstances. The economic recession of the last few years was difficult for many organizations. Layoffs, tight budgets, minimal or no pay raises, benefit cuts, no bonuses, long hour doing for the work of those who had been laid off was the reality that many employees faced. Well, maybe that's all about our presentation. I'm sorry for the mistake that I've made. Maybe if you have a question, you can ask for us. We have 3 question maximum for you guys. Thank you very much for your attention, and yeah, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.